Yeah, so gold's been a big call of ours. I think when you look at gold, I think over this past year, it's obviously one of the best performing asset class. I think it's up like something like 27% year to date. If you look at since 2024, it's up substantially higher, like about 60%. And even if you go back 5 years since COVID, it's up almost 100%. So when you think about gold and you look at it, a lot of times it's obviously a risk-off asset. So you see sort of people flock to gold like things that are occurring in the markets today. But what you've noticed is you've seen steady accumulation over this time, and you ask yourself, well, sort of why has this occurred? And the main reason for the most part is overall you're seeing global growth slowly over the last several years. And obviously, huge quantitative easing has caused havoc on a number of government deficits across the globe, especially in the United States, where you have a deficit now looking at $37 trillion. So when you look at that and you look at some of the federal budget deficits that are ongoing, it starts to put into context the US dollar as a reserve currency, and then you start to look at some of the options and defaults, and gold fits really nicely into that.
You point out second largest reserve holding is in gold, actually even more than euro. Does that suggest that people are that nervous about the extent of the global situation and all the different moving pieces, whether it's geopolitics to trade, that they want to hold something that is effectively useless? No yield, for instance, it doesn't perform any function. Why is gold even relevant in 2025 when we talk about all the amazing other companies you invest in technology, for instance, that do something and have a future use case? Is gold in 2025, is it strange that people want to hold it?
Yes and no. So I think a lot of times people look at history and, to quote JP Morgan, gold is money. So I think central banks around the world have used that to obviously be able to offset liabilities. And therefore, even today, you're seeing central banks accumulate it in a dramatic fashion. So they're, to me, like the buyer that's consistently buying. You look at China, you look at the different aspects of the world, Singapore. So many of these central banks around the globe are actually accumulating very consistently. In fact, this is the past year, they've accumulated more gold at central banks than I think in almost any past year of the last 40 years. So you've seen that consistency, and you've seen it obviously overtake the euro now as the second largest reserve currency globally. And I think that's saying something loud and clear.